Welcome to my channel. This is Martha Wright, and this is my poetry channel. Today I think I have a very appropriate poem for what is going on in the world now, with all the people experiencing so many different types of losses, and also the fact that they're shut in apartments or houses, restricted, and maybe they're watching a few good movies. I hope they are. I wrote this quite some time ago. It is in my book, How the Movie Saved My Life and Other Themes, 1961 through 2017. The Lost Tao of Loss. Preamble to the Tao. Although I have read of lost cats, lost dogs and birds, lost money and jewelry of sentimental value, with rewards offered, lost cities eaten up by jungles or buried under desert sands, lost secrets most intriguing, luring people into lifetime quests, lost knowledge and lost jobs, even the astounding claim of lost worlds, it pales to the loss of one single person that is loved like no other, bringing up the question, what is the process? How does one lose one whole person? Peter Pan once lost his own shadow and had to have it sewn back on. That must have been painful. But the Tao continues, writing of losses. Butterflies with dusty wings I didn't chase down, flitting flower to flower, as opposed to lightning bugs disappearing and reappearing on hot, muggy Ohio nights, captured in jars, losing their freedom. Things that went up and away like dandelion puffs, their lacy balloons, into the sky, out of sight. Or things that started like fire and disappeared like smoke. Things that fell into muddy waters, deep and swift, irretrievable. Things like sounds that cried out in the night, framed with all the drama of a wolf howling in silhouette against the moon, or train whistles far away. Strange little sounds that went bump in the night, heard but once, startling from sleep, then lost in the darkness, replaced by fear. There were edges of things, lost in bright rings of sunlight, dazzled into rainbow rays. Things left out in the rain, beaten down or buried alive, under gently falling crystals of iridescent snowflakes, no two alike. There were magical things, when light itself appeared, whipped out its angle tool, drawing an arc of color clear across the sky, and then by self-same light erased it. There were hours that were lost in minutes, and split seconds that were pulled from my grasping hands, hurtling straight clear to eternity, set in my firmament like stars, light years away, I would never touch again. There were whispers that dwindled to the loss in silence, against shouts and claps that continue to this day, reverberating like the Big Bang into incomprehensible space. Things that grew like fresh green grass and dried yellow in the heat. Things like sweetest fragrance from heaven, night-blooming jasmine, orange blossoms from twilight, lingering only till dawn. There were illusions like the fresh scent of ocean mist, sparkles on the water, blurring into an impressionistic style. Then there were things that filled me with an excitation, the dry, hot Santana winds, the first snowfall of the year. Before I opened my eyes, I knew my bedroom was filled with light. Lost seasons, spring rains in the east, the smell of autumn leaves burning. I save a few of the pretty ones, chestnut warm with yellow, red ones with purplish splotches, the multitude lost on the pyre, while squirrels with great bushy tails chattered in branches, and I examined how beautiful acorns really are. There were substantial things, like the moment a robin sang in pink and white apple blossoms, or a genuine bluebird. The rarest, a cardinal red against the snow. Another time, another place. Then there were things harder to define, like those little precious jewels in the dewdrops, as impossible to store as the frost that mysteriously grew in my window at night. And while these accumulate, the mirror takes on a different look. And along with this, I am surprised at the frequency of the words of lovers lost in translation, or the vows they spoke in sacred places, echoing afterwards, haunted and haggard, lost as ghosts. But then I must mention the other losses, unseen, that carve us out on the inside, like underground rivers, gnawing at our bones, slowly eroding our banks, sculpting us against our will, making us fragile to the touch. And with all this loss I fear, not loss by the death of the body that must come to all of us, because as the seasons are, we will come back into ourselves. But it is this, that however I hold on tightly to myself, with both arms wrapped around myself, it is for another one's arms that I am lost.